Guys, it's Darcy reporting live here from Austin, Texas. We're here with Android Authority representing South by Southwest. We went and saw the VR Live Music Experience panel, and we're trying to do new things here. VR is really a significant game changer in terms of platforms. We really are committed to it, and we're really committed towards providing you guys the best coverage, so we thought it worthwhile to bring some team members together, including Josh Vergara, Jonathan Dye, Narav Gondia, and myself. And we came down here to Austin, Texas, and we got to see this amazing panel. And we saw a lot of panels, a lot of it to do with VR, but this was by far the most kind of mind-blowing. You had industry veterans who've worked with VR and all this live broadcasting media for basically 2 decades. And they talked about all the sort of challenges they faced, whether it's bandwidth or codecs, or how to stitch, or the audio or placement, how to create these stories.
Don't be dissuaded if you're just an indie artist, like, oh, this is out of reach, I can't do anything innovative, what do I do with this? It's, go for it. But keep story in mind, keep how you tell that story in mind, and rethink how you approach yourselves in terms of how you present yourselves in that virtual environment.
Story drives consumption. And so, for example, they were doing things, with Rolling Stones and all these other major bands, and they're trying to create VR experiences. And it's not as simple as really just slapping a VR camera in the middle of the concert. They wanted to have maybe 10 VR rigs, 4K, 60 frames a second, and they have it all controlled from a broadcast center. Then they would have all this independent binaural spatial audio. And it's just amazing to hear them talk about it, because we're really, really committed to VR because it's the most immersive platform to come. Whether it's Google Cardboard, Oculus, HTC Vive, you name it, you really do tend to become so immersed that you forget about everything. You forget about reality.
The challenge is, how do you deliver that in a smooth experience where the viewer doesn't have to think about it? They can just jump into it, they naturally can move with it, it follows their natural movements. So that's where we come in and try to deliver that in the best possible way. And then, of course, brand it to the show, to Woodstock or something.
We got a chance to ask them some questions, because we're planning to do some VR live streaming, for example.
What are sort of the basic thresholds of what's required in terms of the data throughput? Because no matter how efficient your codec is,
yeah, so it's all about the central output, really. Like it's really like, what does that broadcaster have available for them? Do they have a dedicated line or a dedicated satellite connection? They always forget the cost of bandwidth. And the cost of bandwidth, if you're broadcasting to millions of people, or even if it's a couple 100,000, you're looking at sometimes millions of dollars, depending on how long it is. And
and that's where Pepsi comes in.
Yeah, exactly.
And who has that kind of connection? Let alone, more importantly, who has that kind of bandwidth to upload? So I'm basically trying to figure out everything. And that's why we attended this. And we have some really exciting stuff to come in the future for you guys. I mean, geez, it was, trying to recount the specifics is difficult, but there was just so many aha moments. And everything that came out of every single one of these gentlemen's mouths was just like a quote that you could almost look back in time and you could realize that we are on the threshold of a huge game changer in terms of consumption of content. All the reviews we do for you guys, whether it's of the S7 or the Nexus 6P or any of the great content we do, it's always in 2D. You're gonna see this frame. But imagine being able to see everything around you, up and down, and all the perception that affords. And frankly, I don't think any of us are prepared of how much of a tidal shift in content production that we're looking at.
This is not something that's happened in the last year. This has been something that's been growing literally for about 22 years. There's a guy named Jared Lanier who first started working on VR back in the mid-90s. So everybody thinks VR is the latest, greatest thing. It's like saying that there was no digital music before the iPod. This has been a long time coming.
Know that we're committed to the future, and know that we are going to provide you guys the very best coverage in all things VR and all things Android, of course. We're still very kind of in our infancy with regards to everything. Technology of the future will be invisible, but for now, we want to take advantage of all these incredible mediums to show you guys. And if it were up to me, we would find a way to give all you guys Google Cardboard devices, so that you could put your smartphone in and you could experience this VR. Maybe we'll be able to work something in the future. But for now, stay tuned for us. We're Android Authority at South by Southwest, and we're going to give you guys some more cool VR stuff. Thanks a lot for checking into our channel, and thank you for your support.